We got some news. Teofimo Lopez, the takeover, makes it official, and he links up with Canelo. Payday. You'll want payday. I know that. Canelo Alvarez's longtime friend, manager, trainer, Eddy Reynoso. And that's going to be basically his trainer now, too. I'm going to talk about it in this video and break down what went on. Make sure you guys subscribe. Teofimo Lopez, he's been kind of low, kind of under the radar recently, but he makes it official. He says, now I have not one, but two trainers of the year. Eddy Futch. Award winners in my corner. Hashtag boxing, hashtag no boxing, no life. So he linked with Eddy Reynoso. This is not surprising to me, and I'm going to explain why in the next minute or two, why I believe that. For one, Teofimo, he's been jocking Canelo. There was a moment where Canelo was truly undisputed after beating Caleb Plant, and then Teofimo hopped up on stage and he was holding his belts because he was almost undisputed, but not quite, because he hadn't fought against Devin Haney, right? So he kind of took Canelo's moment and tried to make it about us or them, you know? So he's been kind of kissing up to me, in my opinion, kissing up to Canelo Alvarez, jocking him and trying to be around him. Canelo, when he was preparing for his last fight with Edgar Berlanga in Lake Tahoe, I believe, Teofimo was up there. So I think this behind the scenes, you can see this coming, that he's been spending time, and, you know, they haven't said nothing negative about Canelo, despite Canelo not fighting David Benavidez. So I kind of seen this. It looked like they were trying to get in good and that kind of thing. In addition, Teofimo's last performance against Steve Claggett, I don't think it dazzled people. I think a guy had 7 losses or so. People expected more, and Teofimo didn't really deliver. It's kind of a quiet performance, if you will. So I think there was a lot of criticism, like, man, where is Teo even at? How is this the guy to beat Lomachenko, but then he lose to George Kambosos and, you know, Sandor Martin fights and Steve Claggett fights? He doesn't look the same as the guy to beat Josh Taylor, the guy to beat Vasyl Lomachenko. He just looks different. So I believe for a minute, people have been saying that Teofimo needs to make a change. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gotta make a difference. Like, he gotta look at the man in the mirror and make that change. And now he did it, to switching with Eddy Reynoso. Does this mean his father is not gonna be in his corner? I don't believe that. I think, because like if you look at the post says basically I got 2 trainers of the year, not just one. So I think he's gonna utilize his pops, but maybe Eddy Reynoso is either a second set of eyes or the head trainer, and his pops will probably still be there, right? And that'll be guiding his career. Another thing, and this is a bit more subtle, but your boy Ego is the best in the business, and it's not even close. So I peep everything that goes on in my sport, obviously. You don't just get to this position of being the greatest at what you do without being tapped in and being sharp. So I always know what's going on in the sport of boxing. And if you notice, Teofimo, as of late, he switched up, right? He's Honduran, and he started saying that he don't want a USA flag to represent him, right? He says he's come from a long line of Teofimos, and it's his lineage and it's passed down. So he now wants a Spanish flag to represent him instead of the American flag, despite him being born in the USA. He wanted that. So he's been like kind of pushing towards this direction of wanting more Latino support, in my opinion. Because why would you just rent a person born in the USA, and then they said after constantly, like, you were on Heisman Trophy night, all this other Mason Menard, all these performances, you ain't saying nothing about Top Rank or ESPN showing the USA flag next to your name and stuff like that. But now you want to identify. It's just like people with the pronouns. It's like them and they and him and her, and people choose what pronouns they want to be identified. It's like Teofimo, now he identifies with being Latino more, as opposed to earlier in his career when they had a USA flag and that was just fine apparently, but not anymore. He's also made these weird statements like Top Rank, they're giving black fighters special treatment and ESPN can keep the blacks and all this type of stuff. So I seen this coming a mile away. I think Teofimo is trying to get that La Raza and like Latino support. So he's saying certain things, moving a certain way, wants the Spanish flag to represent him now. And this move is right on script for what he's been doing and saying, you know, in general. Link with Canelo's trainer, and Canelo's the biggest Latino in the sport and in sports, for real, you know, except for maybe like soccer, I don't know, maybe Ronaldo or something. But he's definitely one of the biggest athletes, definitely probably the biggest person from Mexico. So for Teofimo's case, if that's your angle, your new angle and stuff, that's good for him to maybe get more support. I will say this, it does bring in another element if he were to fight Devin Haney now, because that right there is going to be a different type of battle if they fight. You're going to see people in the comment section, the race fans come out, and it's going to be something different in that comment section if Devin Haney and Teofimo fight, because now you're going to have a black fighter, and then you have Teofimo, who's kind of been inching his way towards like trying to get the Latino popular vote. So the comment section is going to be crazy if Devin and Teofimo were to fight. Again, with the race fans, they're going to be right there. And a lot of the racists, they're going to be supporting Teofimo and saying Ryan destroyed Devin Haney and blah, blah, blah. So it does add another dynamic. It makes me want to see the fight even more too, you know, to see who can outwit who and things like that. But I think Devin Haney, for real, judging from the Ryan Garcia fight, he needs to come back adequately and appropriately. I don't think he should jump right into a Teofimo fight. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Teofimo is now with Eddy Reynoso and Canelo. I think he's kind of getting to the party kind of late, because who does Eddy Reynoso even have? Oscar Valdez and Canelo. A lot of the other Luis Neri and Andy Ruiz. I thought Ruiz lost to Gerald Miller for one, but a lot of the guys left that were with Canelo's trainer. You know, Ryan Garcia left, things like that. I think Frank Sanchez might still be there, and Valdez and a couple maybe up and comers, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think of Teofimo's move.